Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video. And I mean, this one by far will probably be one of the better videos that I've ever made in my entire YouTube career, at least in my opinion. As long as I can get this out the way that I want to, it's gonna be a fantastic video. All right, first time to the video, make sure you subscribe, notify, make sure you become a part of the crew. Check out the ebooks, Patreons, everything listed in the link in the description area below. Social media platforms, everything that you should need should be listed down there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, foreigners, Filipinas, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? Let me say that one more time. Where does the blame end and the responsibility begin? Let me tell you the story of John and Maria. None of you guys will know who these are. These are fictitious characters in a story that may sound eerily familiar to a lot of people. John, the handsome foreigner man, Maria, the young, sexy Filipina young lady. John and Maria get together and they are involved in a very intense whirlwind romantic situation. You know, they have very good chemistry sexually. The intimacy is awesome, whatever you want to call it. Everything about what that relationship is in a moment is what they both are looking for. Okay? So, something dramatic happens. John and Maria split up. Let's say Maria is taking the breakup just a little bit harder than John is. So, because of the emotional investment that Maria has in said relationship, she is finding it hard to move on from the relationship. John, on the other hand, he's not willing to completely separate himself from Maria, because again, she is just as much a part of him as he. So let me say that one more time. She is just as much a part of him as he is a part of her. All right, and when I talk about relationships, you know, whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever kind of relationship you want to. But let's just say that Maria takes it harder when they have to separate. Maybe, and I'm gonna use this as the hypothetical, it's a long distance relationship, okay? John has to go back home, Maria's here, something happens while they are separated. Maria takes it very, very hard. And she goes on what I like to call a destructive pattern. Maybe she starts to pick up bad habits, drinking, smoking, things of that nature. She picks up some very, very bad habits. And during her run-of-the-mill spree of reckless behavior, Maria goes on a rant on John in a message and ultimately tells him, "Look at what you did to me. Look at what I've become. I'm having relationships that have no meaning. I'm constantly finding myself sleeping with men and nothing comes of it. They just sleep with me and go." This is what Maria is texting to John. And this is where I want to stop the show for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Because Doc wants to understand, how is it John's fault that you're spreading your legs for other men? Answer me that question, ladies. How is it John's fault that you're spreading your legs for other men? I understand the drinking and smoking, the emotional attachment that you have to another individual. Sometimes when it's tethered, when it's strong, it's very, very strong. The bond will never be broken. You may be separated, but sometimes somebody you genuinely care about to your core, somebody that you genuinely love to like your heart of hearts, you'll never officially let them go at the end of the day. And if there's one way that you can actually find your way back to her, so be it. All right? But let's say, like I said, I'm trying to tell Maria, or I'm trying to figure out how is it John's fault that Maria is sleeping with random men. The emotional attachment, yes, I get that. But where does the blame end? Why are you, Maria, telling John, it's your fault that I'm doing this? It's your motherfucking fault that I'm drinking, I'm smoking, and that I'm having random one-night stands with other men. Do you tell John that to make him feel bad? Are you trying to guilt trip him into wanting to be back with you? I'm trying to figure out, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? Again, I understand Filipinas, ladies in general, can be very, very emotional. I understand that 100%. I've dealt with emotional women more than I care to deal with. But okay, I understand the emotional attachment that can happen, especially when the romance, or whatever you want to call it, the situation is very, very passionate per se. But then again, ladies, I ask you the question, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? He is the reason you're sleeping with random guys? No, he's not. No. That is still a conscientious choice. That is a choice that you made to sleep with other guys. That's not John's fault. Maria, that is you not being responsible for yourself. That is you being careless. Heaven forbid you show up pregnant. You think John's gonna want you then? Nah, baby. That's not how that game goes. But I just wanted to ask the question, ladies, gentlemen, Filipinas, foreigners, anybody who watches this video, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? Now let's talk about it from John's side of the story. Let's say if John was the one that was emotionally hurt by Maria. Let's say Maria used John for whatever she could get out of John, and John just decides that he wants to go on a rampage. John wants to go ape shit crazy. He wants to sleep and bag every Filipina that he possibly can. He wants to try to fill the void of Maria's absence due to the fact that he can no longer be with Maria anymore. Why? Because Maria said goodbye without actually saying goodbye. Maria just disappeared. Maria's number's not the same. You can't find where Maria is. She's somewhere in her province that you do not know where it is. And even if you did, you wouldn't know where Maria lived because the province is big. That kind of rhymed. Anyways, you're on an emotional rampage, filling the void with random Filipina women. Like, you just feel like your heart is broken, and in order to fill the void, you have to do all of these unnecessary things. You are degrading Filipinas. You are bad-mouthing Filipinas. You are basically saying they're only good for one thing and one thing only because Maria hurt you. Or Maria put you through the ringer. And trust me, we got people out there like that. Don't act like I'm speaking to nobody on the other side of this camera. Maria damaged you. And you want to take your revenge. And you're taking out your revenge on all the other Filipinas. Right there, I stop you and I ask you, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? Let me say that one more time. At that point, where does the blame end? Oh, all Filipinas are like this. Oh, fuck them. They're all scammers. They're gold diggers, this, that, and the other. Where does the blame end, gentlemen, and responsibility begin? What do I mean by taking responsibility? Get out your pen and paper. Get your pen and paper, your notebook, whatever it is. Start jotting some notes, because I'm going to school you motherfuckers today. Anybody who doesn't know what we talk about, y'all going to get schooled today. Number one, the acceptance of responsibility on where you messed up in the relationship. Number one, if you're fucking around with other Filipinas or flirting with other girls and you're doing it in front of Maria, John, I'm talking to you, John. If you're out there and you're putting yourself out there wherein Maria can clearly see that she is in the relationship with you, but yet and still she's not the only one in the relationship with you, where's the responsibility there? That's just one case. Number two, John, tricking out like you done lost your damn mind, buying Maria everything that she wants to, believing that her love can be bought, believing that if you buy the family a new television or a new refrigerator or a new freezer or groceries and fill the house up and keep the house filled with all kinds of shit, that Maria gonna stay with you. Where do you take your responsibility? Tell me, John, where is your motherfucking responsibility? Where do you accept that maybe that was not the best way to go about things? Where do you actually take responsibility for that? And my all-time favorite, ladies and gentlemen, number 3, Mikethepiguide. John. Good old John. John. You openly put yourself in bad situations because you feel as if Maria is the only girl out there. So for you and all of your male pent-up energy, the simple fact that you do not believe that you'll ever find a girl more beautiful or more loving and caring than Maria, you stick it out, even though you know deep down inside you're miserable. Yes, the beginning of the relationship was this whirlwind of all the shit that you needed in a relationship. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. That's how all fucking relationships start. All good relationships start out where everybody is on their best behavior. Come on, let's no cap, no lying to each other right now. This is a fucking real moment between you guys and the good doc, Dr. Mike TV. All good relationships start out well. Everybody's on their best behavior. Everybody is cooking and cleaning and doing what they need to do. On the flip side, you're, taking her out and doing things nice for her. And the sex is fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, the romantic side of it, the intimacy, everything is perfect. It is too perfect. But then what we like to refer to as the honeymoon phase begins to wear off. Everybody's true color starts to show. And John, the handsome foreigner that he is very well aware of the other side of Maria. Providing two different scenarios, of course. You are well aware of the other side of Maria. A side of Maria that you don't quite like. You deal with it, but you don't quite like it. But John, not wanting to ruffle any feathers, not wanting to, say anything about what he doesn't like about Maria's newfound attitude, he lets it go. Then when shit hits the fan, then it comes to a conclusion. You know how they taught us in school, you have the peak and the climax and then the resolution and then the end, wherein once everything hits that peak, shit hits the fan, it falls apart and she goes away. That's the best way I like to put it. It peaks, shit falls apart and she goes away. That's when John becomes this newfound man of vengeance and revenge, and he's taking it out on everybody else. Gentlemen, where does the blame end and responsibility begin? Where do you take responsibility for where you fucked up in the relationship? Tell me, please tell me, please. Somebody tell me the truth. Where do you take responsibility for where you messed up? Probably you don't. 9 times out of 10, you don't. And the reason you don't is because you feel like there is no blame on your side. Which is why we made this video, ladies and gentlemen. Filipinas, foreigners, whenever things go wrong, you have to understand where the blame ends and responsibility begins. Ladies, you're not sleeping with random guys because John hurt you. You're sleeping with random guys because you just want to sleep with random guys. Let's be real. You just want to fuck. Pardon my language. Let me take that back. You just want to have sex. Gentlemen, you're probably running through these Filipinas, not necessarily to fill the void, but probably because you just want to have sex too. But yet and still, your reasoning behind it is because Maria hurt you. Your reasoning behind it is because John hurt you. But where, oh where, does blaming end and responsibility begin? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me know. It has been fun. It has been real. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the Good Docs channel. Make sure you hit me up on Patreon. Patreon is an awesome place to be, especially now that the Good Doc is back. I'm telling you, we got some amazing content that we're going to put over on Patreon. What comes on Patreon stays on Patreon. It's a whole separate thing from my YouTube channel. We get a little bit in depth on some real shit over there. Call it the Good Docs Diaries. Best way for me to put it, okay? But I love you guys sincerely. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this gives you something to think about, gentlemen. Ladies, I hope it gives you something to think about as well. You have to understand that it's not always the other person's fault that you choose to act the way that you do. Sometimes you have to accept the responsibility that you probably either want to do these things yourself, or you just need an scapegoat for why you are partaking in such negative behavior that is unbecoming of yourself. It has been fun, it has been real, ladies and gentlemen, but the Good Doc is officially out. Alis nako paalam, which means the Good Doc is going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.